Hello and welcome everybody to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News. I'm your host, Zafiro Fierro. Remember to follow us on all our social networks and to catch us every day by logging on to our website, mexiconewsnetwork.com, for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's show. As Mexico News Network announced a few months ago, the 75-year monopoly of PEMEX has finished in the hand of two new brands, the Gas and Hidrosina, which a few days ago opened their first service stations. The first company opened in Yucatan and Campeche, while the second opened in Mexico City. At a press conference, the director of Lodermo Group and spokesman for the Gas, Emilio Loret de Mola Gamori, said that this new brand started operations with two gas stations, one in the center of the city of Campeche and the other located in the North Periférico of Mérida, both owned by Mexican franchisees. Significantly, the new brand venturing into the Yucatan Peninsula has as equal shareholders five related companies: Corpogas, Enercom, Hidrosina, Lodermo Red, and Corporate Gas. Together own a total of 600 service stations in Mexico, and they have achieved the formal contract with 25 stations to change their identity in Campeche, Yucatan, and Quintana Roo. This definitely marks the beginning of a transformation in Mexico, although at the moment this independent gas station remains to be supplied by the parastatal. Each one of them can run promotions that encourage competition and diversification of services. Meanwhile, Hidrosina will do the same in Mexico City, adding 20 service stations in the capital, Morelos, and in the state of Mexico, which will be additional to the one that already operates in the corner of Avenida Reforma and Insurgentes. In other headlines, Air Canada's director for Mexico, Central America, and Cuba, Luis Noriega, announced some days ago that the company is analyzing to raise this summer of number of seats at least 20% on its flights from Montreal to Mexico City, due to the airline's goal for this year, which is to mobilize 200,000 passengers between the countries, number that has been impossible to achieve since the imposition of the Canadian visa. Let's have in mind that before 2009, the airline used to transport 270,000 people per year. But after the requirement of the visa to travelers from Mexico and Czech Republic, the sales went down 60%, which was a big shock for this company. But Air Canada sees a new hope of improving its economic situation because Justin Trudeau's government has promised to eliminate the visa for Mexicans. If this were to occur, return of the airline to the Mexican market is imminent. This has encouraged the company to add one more flight for the summer. The new flight will be seasonal and is going to connect Montreal with Mexico City, which began operations on June 6th all the way to October 16th of 2016. Luis Noriega also informed that this year will be announced another flight from Montreal, but this time to Puerto Vallarta, which is going to be available from November 18th, raising its frequency to 3 times per week until December 3rd to April 21st, 2017. So far, the Canadian airline has presence in 7 destinations in Mexico: Cancun, Cozumel, Los Cabos, Ixtapa, Puerto Vallarta, Huatulco, and Mexico City. Moving on, bringing back prestige to the land and the pride of being a farmer is the main mission of the National Confederation of Rural Producers and Eduardo Orihuela Esteban's goal as president. A few months ago into his new role, Orihuela has a very clear path in mind for what is needed for Mexico and the Confederation to achieve a rural transformation. The farmers spend hours working in the land producing quality food for the Mexican people and for export as well. It's a hard labor and they deserve to have recognition for it. Bringing a more prestigious image to their profession and work is something that has not been done so far. But the CNPR bets on this to be an area of opportunity to transform the rural space, not only on their technique and capitalization, but on their social standing, economic, geography, and cultural side as well. This will also result in breaking stereotypes that are obstacles in their growth to become competitive producers and making Mexican farmers the best ones in the world, no matter the scale, geographic location, or condition. For the first time in this century, Mexico is exporting more than it has exported ever before, but it's still depending on their imports, being these 48% of the food it consumes. There is where a topic talked about worldwide comes in, the capacity a country can have to self-feed and not depend on any other. Orihuela is very set on that idea for the country and its agriculture to move forward. A more simple process to grant public resources is needed. This will help the small and medium businesses to have the same conditions as big ones. In the 21st century, with information at the palm of our hands and at the very lowest cost, it'll help to integrate and get closer to the local markets. Lastly, at 33 years old and with less than 1 month after arriving in our country, Vincent Echeverría has the important task of making the world's biggest airplane in the world a huge success in our country. On January 12, 2016, Matías Feckel, Federic Gaguet, and Vincent Echeverría landed in Mexico City along with several French businessmen and strategic advisors to begin this new chapter in the Mexico-France relationship. They brought with them the biggest airplane in the world, the Airbus A380, which is 73 meters long and 24 meters high. Special adaptations had to be done for it to land in the Mexico City airport, but everything is getting ready to start flying this year. The success of the 380 is in the hands of Vincent Echeverría. Nonetheless, he's got years of experience to back him up. He's been working for Air France KLM for 11 years in the commercial and sales area in different parts of the world, like Stockholm, Paris, and Rome. He comes from a financial background. For the last 6 years, he's been in the special sales department as chief of staff to the EVP Commercial Sales and Alliances in Paris. Echeverría will work based on his experience in prices and management strategies in other countries. He has worked on many alliance processes, commercial politics, and more, which he'll probably use in this market. Their mission to grow is evident, focusing on their clients being satisfied and happy, providing comfort in their airplanes as well. They are optimistic about investing in our country and its potential. This group's plans for Mexico are very simple: more capacity and more quality. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Zafiro Fierro, and remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. Also log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.